Hi guys, here to make a little video for you on the TM1. This is an overview of basically how the machine works. I can't teach you how to run a CNC milling machine in a 3 or 4 minute video, so all I'm going to do is kind of go over the most important things, the things you're going to use every day, how to use it, where they are, and what they do. So basically, whenever you come over to a TM1 or any milling machine for that matter, you always want to think about, what am I getting ready to do? I'm getting ready to power up a machine here. Is it safe to power it up? Well, that means I need to inspect and make sure that everything looks like it's good. I want to actually open these doors up, and I want to take a look inside. I want to make sure that, you know, the guy that was running this machine last time didn't leave a wrench. He didn't leave a tool, he didn't leave something, you know, that's going to cause a problem if I go to start this machine up. So I always need to go in, take a look around, I look down, I look side to side, I look up, I make sure everything is good in there. Okay, so once I do that, you can't do any of the functions of the machine with the doors open, so now I'm going to close those doors. I'm going to come over the emergency stop button, and I'm going to turn that and let it come out. Okay, so that's the emergency stop when it's on, that's when it's off. Okay, it has to be off in order to start the machine. I'm going to do my power on. Once I do this, it starts to boot up the computer that's inside of this control panel here. It takes a minute to boot up, and you can kind of just take a minute, kind of walk around the machine and make sure everything else looks good from every other angle. Okay, make sure there's no slip and trip, make sure the tables are all good, everything is good. Once this is booted up, you'll then want to what we call home the machine. The machine has to know where it is at some point when you start it up. So when you end it at the end of the day, the spindle might have been who knows where, the X, the Y could be anywhere. So you have to send it home and let it know, okay, here's your starting point. So we have a button that's called the power up or restart button. That button, when pressed in the morning, the first time that you press it, will send this home, okay, and set all the X, Y, and Z to 0. X, Y, Z says it's at 0 right now, but it might not really be there. So let's just do that. Okay, so it's completing its function right now of returning all the axes to home. Okay, now the next thing that you guys want to be familiar with would be the MDI, or this is an edit for editing a program. This is a memory. This is how you run a program. You press it into memory. Whatever program you have loaded in here will run. You have an MDI button, okay? MDI means manual data input. That means that you're going to actually tell this machine something to do manually, not by a program. Handle jog. That means I want to move the table or the spindle by hand, which by hand means with using the handle jog. When I want to set the Z or X or Y back to home 0, I press 0 return, and the axes will return depending on how I tell it I want it to go. List programs is just, there's programs inside this control that I want to use. This allows me to look at them, see which one is in there, and then I can choose the one that I want to use to run. Okay? We have a cycle start button down here. Once I have the program that I want in the machine, I want to start that program, I'm going to press cycle start. There's a feed hold. If I am in the middle of doing something and I want to stop for some reason, I can press feed hold. It will stop whatever's going on. The spindle will continue to run, but the X and Y and Z move will stop moving. And then if I decide that it's good, I can press cycle start and it will go back to cycle again. Now it'll start to run again, okay? So all you have to do is learn how to use that for stopping and starting the machine. We have a bunch of overrides down here. If we're in the middle of cutting something and it seems like it's going a little bit fast or a little bit slow, we can change the speed without reprogramming the machine. We can just hit feed rate minus 10% or feed rate plus 10%. Plus would make it go 10% faster, minus would make it go 10% slower. we can do the same thing with the spindle speed. We're running the spindle. It's a little bit fast. I might want to hit the minus a couple times, slow the spindle down a little bit. Clockwise, stop, counterclockwise. If I want to manually turn on the spindle, I would just press whatever speed I want to go, 500 clockwise, and it will turn the spindle on. That's all you need to do to get that started. And then if I want to stop it, that's I just hit stop. And if I wanted to go in the opposite direction, I hit counterclockwise and it starts up running in the opposite direction. We have rapid override. If we're doing something and we're not sure if it's really correct yet, we want to use these buttons to slow it down so that we have a chance to see if it's going to do something bad before it does something bad. So this will make it go fast. This will make it go pretty slow. So it gives us a chance to do something and be able to watch it and make sure that it's not going to go crash into somewhere where we don't want it to go to. Okay? So pretty much that's the majority of the way that this thing operates. The one other thing I would like to point out as we do this is, if you look at these mode keys right here, edit, memory, MDI, handle jog, 0, and list, they kind of look like an arrow, right? So if you look, every one of these looks like an arrow pointing to the buttons that are beside it, because anything that you want to do while you're in the edit mode is going to be handled with these keys. So it points to these keys and says, which one of these things do you want to do? Memory, do you want to run in single block? Do you want to dry run? Do you want to use your optional stop? So all of these keys have the little arrow on them, and these are all the keys that the arrow points to that work with that button. So it makes it kind of easy to know if I want, edit, and I want to alter something, then it tells me go look in this row of keys. That's where you're going to find it. Okay, that's pretty much the operational video. If you guys have any more questions, and I'm sure you will in the future, come out, see any of the instructors. We love helping people to understand what they're doing so that we can be productive without being destructive. And you guys, I'll see you out in the shop. Have a good day.